knowing how to work with different market in Airbnb business. Very vital if you want to run a new kind of service accommodation, short-term rental, Airbnb business in 2021. Guys, you are in the right video. Nicola and Dean, who's a client of mine, they're going to share all the experience. They've been in the industry for the last few years running short-term rental business, but they've never seen this kind of model, how you create a brand and as a result you just attract longer term bookings. I've worked with them in November's lockdown in 2020. Now we're down in March and 2021. These clients have had amazing results just by creating this brand. Guys, I'm gonna roll this video. I hope you enjoy this new client case study. Guys, welcome to another client interview of mine. I keep saying another special one, but it is truly every single time, I get to interview people like Nicola and Dean. I'm more than grateful because, to be honest, not all my clients actually want to come and do interview for me. That's the first thing. So without further ado, guys, welcome to this video. How are you both?
Really good.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. Well, firstly, people would love to know, obviously, who you are. How long have you been investing in short-term rental business, or in UK, we call it service accommodation business. So yeah, please let's view and know what you guys do currently.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So Propearthy has been running for about probably 2 years now. And we've got a bit of a buy-to-let portfolio, and about a year and a half ago started our first service accommodation. And probably about 2 months before the lockdown, we opened another 2. And obviously, in hindsight, that wasn't perfect timing. So it then became very quiet. So we had 3 short-term service accommodations running going into the lockdown last year. And most of our bookings up to that point had been short-term tourists, so kind of holiday bookings, mostly with Airbnb. And that obviously came to a bit of a standstill.
Yeah. So the market, obviously UK market, stopped mostly for tourists and leisure, especially where your investment area is. You guys were more in lockdown than the country did, which didn't help. Yeah. So, okay. So obviously you've invested in this business for the last 2 years. You started with 1, you guys know property investing anyway, but look, now you understand what a brand builder is for SA short-term let. How would you describe this in like very simple form for somebody who does not understand brand builder?
It's, for me, probably the biggest thing was starting to see what we do as it sounds like common sense when I say this, but as a business. So actually think about your brand and think about where your brand is seen in the public domain, what different kind of channels and platforms it's seen, making sure you've got some consistency in how it appears across all those platforms, and just thinking about how it all comes together in terms of the service that you provide, rather than just, we've got 3 service accommodations and we put them on Airbnb and people will find us. So it's just turning it into more, you've seen it more as a business, like an all-round business, rather than just a single channel to make. Yeah.
So like you said, a lot of operators around the world, they focus on listing a property, which what you guys were. So the next question I would like to ask you was, what were the problems? I mean, there wouldn't be a problem because you guys were doing okay anyway with your first unit. Were you guys facing any challenges as a brand previously?
It was early days because we hadn't been doing it for very long, really. So I think that you came along at the right time. So as far as challenges are concerned, we put a lot of energy into renovating the properties and furnishing them. And then the lockdown came, so we hadn't hit that many challenges at that point. But then the lockdown was obviously a great hurdle, which you helped us to overcome.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, again, your properties are great looking properties. When we first onboarded you, now, talking about the first day when we took some screenshots, and we were talking about, some of the things you were already doing was working really well against the market comparable, which effectively means you were getting a lot of views into in your listings. Having said that, you weren't probably not getting the bookings and the leads that you would want to, as investing in a short-term rental business. So look, let's take it a little bit further down. So Nicola, I think yourself and myself, obviously we started talking, and you've probably seen some of my client results. So I'd love to know, how did we connect, and what went through your mind when you went, we need to, you as a company needed to build a brand. Why did I come in your space?
To be honest, it's probably just, I've seen a lot of what you do on Facebook.
Yeah.
Power of Facebook marketing, really. So see what you do, see what you offer, see what you've done for your other clients, and the timing felt right. It was after, I think we came out of lockdown 1, we call it that, in the summer. We had a really good summer, but then it went very quiet again, and that's when I thought, right, we need to do something a bit different now, unless we want to sit empty for the next few months. And that's when you kind of sprung to mind. So
yeah, sure. And listen, what kind of bookings were you receiving? Because I know some of your properties were a little bit emptier when we were starting to talk, and that was purely because I think we started talking in end of October, and then November we went down in lockdown again. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, the country did. I think you guys were in lockdown anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay. So look, what kind of, now when we onboarded you to now, let's talk about the 4 weeks. I still remember when we completed the work, we started seeing a lot of changes on your presence. However, you still didn't get some quality leads like most of my clients did in that 4 weeks working straight away, right? Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was still early days, and obviously you being in lockdown, there was hardly much of the movement that came through. So what was going through your mind at that point? Because you invested with me. It was 4 weeks, that was, and I did say you, look, it's not just short-term, it's long-term investment, but a lot of people want results now. So what was going through your mind at that point?
To be honest, I think because we'd worked so closely over those 4 weeks, and we saw the amount of investment you and your team put into all the work you've done in the background, I kind of had the confidence, I think, that it would pay off. But still, there was a bit of a leap of faith, because you kind of want to see the proof there and then. But we just knew, we were on, we started out on one platform on Airbnb, and I think we ended up on almost 10. So just that, and the kind of branding that we've done across all those platforms, we kind of knew it would pay off. And because we were in a lockdown, we weren't really using that to judge the true potential from it.
Yeah, sure. And I think when we did the handover, I did mention, when we do our handover report, I showed you saying, although this is where you are, or this is where you were 4 weeks ago, your brand now looks completely different. A lot of people spend a lot of ads, and they spend a lot of money in marketing, whereas you've done it organically. So look, so now fast forward, I think about 4 months later, I heard from you, and that was probably a bit of a challenging time for me. There's things going in my family, and I was, that Monday was literally I was like, I don't want to work, I don't want to do, and I got your text come through. And I still remember that. So that really cheered me up, first of all, because that was a brilliant text to hear from a client who's worked, I worked about months ago coming back. So look, what I want to now talk about is what has changed in your business.
Quite a lot.
I think also attracting, we live in a seaside town, so we were really focused on holidaymakers, and you opened our eyes to the contractor potential, and also the fact that we can get longer term bookings from contractors, as opposed to getting 2 night bookings. So that's been a big thing.
Yeah, I would say, like you say, the average duration of stays has shot up massively
Yeah. And what does that mean to you and your business? Because last time we catched up, what sort of management time are you putting in now?
Yeah, a lot less. I mean, there's a little bit more work involved because it's a direct booking, so it's a little bit more manual. You can't rely solely on Airbnb to take care of it all. But that's completely offset by the time we're saving in between each stay and refilling, just consumables that we're not refilling. There's less of a cleaner bill because that's been taken care of. It's just an easier setup, a lot easier to manage.
But also,
that's amazing.
Yeah, we're starting to build a reputation with the contractors now, so we're hoping that they'll be coming back, which is what's starting to happen already.
Yeah.
One of them, actually, there was one contractor stayed in December and ended up booking, I think, another 3 or 4 times for him and his team throughout December and January.
Wow. And do you know what? Now, if you wouldn't mind sharing your bookings or the kinds of bookings that you've had. So I remember you saying you've now served 3 different clienteles, right? So who are they, first of all? So
we've had 2 contractors actually, but lots of return bookings. So they generally book Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
It hasn't been one long booking, but if I add it all up, it probably covers about 6 weeks worth of bookings from a team of contractors.
Yeah.
We've had one insurance company who we did actually deal with when we were working with you. So we gave him a quote, but that one didn't come off. But he then came back to us again in January.
Brilliant.
So there's a month booking there. So he's rehousing somebody after a flood. So, which I'm sure he just found us on Google.
Yeah, because I remember when they called you previously, they did ring you, didn't they? So
yeah, it's a direct call. Yeah. And
relocation.
Yes. Yeah, a guy relocating up from Spain in the lockdown. So he's been with us 2 months, and I think it's going to extend for a 3rd as well.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's probably opened my eyes a little bit, because I don't know if you remember, I was talking about when we were working together, I had a lot of clients from Hong Kong and South Africa who were moving to the UK, and they were staying in my properties, but your ones are slightly different because that person from Spain has come across, don't have a house here, he needs to live here somewhere, and obviously booked your property. Let's just talk about a little bit of the customer habits, because people can talk about, we got this longer term bookings. I think the market's going back to normal. So everyone's sharing about, we've got this bookings coming in. But do you now talk about bookings, or do you now start thinking about your guest behaviours online, how they're booking you?
Yeah, I think we've definitely got a different dynamic now within our type of guest. So we've still got your kind of tourists, holiday makers. So the summer's already started filling up, obviously, but we've just got a different kind of percentage split now between that type of customer and your kind of contractors or directly with businesses as well, insurance companies. So we're thinking a bit more strategically about which properties that we want to fill up with tourists, and they still typically book shorter stays, like 3, 4, 5 nights, versus keeping other properties freer for businesses and contractors. So we're just thinking a bit differently about it all as well now.
Yeah, definitely. And do you also think that you now kind of worry of those little bookings, which is probably going to block your calendar for longer terms?
That's what I was going to say. Shorter bookings.
Yeah, because those short-term bookings will block your calendar, so you've got to obviously price yourself correctly as well. So, guys,
you've just reminded me on when we spoke last, you suggested we increase the minimum night stay. So we did on one property to 5, and believe it or not, it's now full for the month of August based on 5 night stays.
Oh, well done. So,
which we wouldn't have done previously. We would have had 2 night minimum. So
you would, and imagine if you would have got those 2 nights booking, then you would have again not had this 5 nights booking. Yeah. Wow, well done. Amazing stuff. So, and do you know what? Sometimes, do you not feel it's just sitting down and looking at Airbnb and just spending hours on it? Honestly, I do that. I spend on an average in a week probably a good 20 plus hours looking at the charts, because obviously I work with clients like yourself. So not only I'm looking at mine, I'm looking at clients from all over the country right now. And I feel the joy of that, because every time I see a different chart, I'm like, oh, why is that happening? Why is it different to this person? So look, how was it working with myself in that 4 weeks?
Inspiring.
Yeah, bit of an eye opener, really. Just basic things like some of the stats that are in Airbnb and on Google Insights that we knew they were there, but we never really done much with them. So you just kind of opened our eyes up to, I guess, how much more you can optimize what you've already got by just paying a little bit more attention in certain areas.
Brilliant. And listen, now lastly, we are coming to a close of our interview, and knowing that obviously what you've achieved and how you're going to use this over the years, obviously you guys are growing your portfolio. You guys are probably now looking at certain properties in a certain way, what you want to invest on. Look, if it's a fellow SA operator or short-term rental operator who would come to you and ask you saying, look, I'm not getting any longer leads or long-term bookings, what would you suggest them? Obviously, apart from telling my services, put that aside, what would you suggest them who's watching this and going, okay, what should I do?
I think probably stand back and really look at their strategy. It depends a lot on your location, but look at the type of people who they'll get into that area and make sure that their strategy and their business and their brand aligns to that.
Yeah.
Just look at it as a much more holistic view rather than just, like we said earlier, you just list your property on a platform and almost hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dean, what about yourself? What would you suggest somebody?
The same, really. I think you probably said exactly what I would say there. But I mean, it's just worth giving. If I would recommend anyone invest and spend time with you, because it just opens up your eyes to the potential as a business to take it from where it was to where it is now in a few months. It's incredible, really. So.
Thank you, brilliant. Well, guys, firstly, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys. Obviously, it's been 4 months down the line, and to be able to, most of my interviews are the same 4 weeks. 4 weeks in, they've had incredible results, and we sit down and do interview. In your case, it's probably a complete different, because we're now talking after 4 months. So look, for somebody who wants to come and work with us as a brand or brand builder, why would you suggest them, or what would you suggest them?
I would do it all over again, and I would recommend anyone takes up your services, because what we invested, we've got back 3, 4, 5 times over. And what I liked about you and your team is you really keep us on our toes. So, I mean, yes, you'll do a lot of the behind the scenes work, but actually it kind of forces us to really start thinking of it differently. And I just like the style, I like the way that you work. It's really like informal. And I think what you're paying for is your knowledge and your passion. You can see so it's worth every penny, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much for your kind words, guys. Thank you so much for taking time out and doing this client interview. Like I said, not every single client wants to come in front of camera most of the time, I will tell you that. But appreciate you guys taking a few minutes out and doing this for me. So guys, thank you so much. Good luck for your future short-term rental business. I think, I'm sure you'll be adding more and more properties in the next few years. And look, if I can be any help at some point, please let me know.
Thank you as well. Thank you very much.
So it's been an incredible journey with Nicola and Dean. Like I said, 4 months down the line, their guest habits have changed. The behaviours of their customers who actually sees them online is completely different, and as a result of that, longer term bookings, more for direct bookings. And that's purely because what we've done is we've taken them through a journey of not having a brand presence to building something that they can leverage for years to come. And you know, I'm so proud of my team and myself to be able to deliver this for clients and show them that it's, you know, a service accommodation or a short-term renter business is not just about listing property, it's not just about attracting, you know, few of the clients that we think will come and work with you or book you. It's actually been open to the market. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you congratulate our clients. Also give this video a massive like and subscribe to this channel, because I will be bringing more of this client interview / other Airbnb content around short-term rental as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be back with another video soon.